G'day, I'm Cliffo, and welcome to the first of my sprint series of short videos where I'm going to be talking pretty much just straight to camera about anything that comes to mind or I might think might be of interest. In terms of the technology, I was sitting down in my home office here in Canberra for the waving green video, and indeed for this video, but in the future I'm hoping to do a little bit more movement outside to throw a little bit more interest in. Just walking along and talking, as we've seen Simon Crowfar and so many other people on track as they're recording with the riders, seeing them go up and down and backwards and forwards and repeating their takes until they get it down. This makes it more interesting for the viewer, and I'll be trying to do that kind of thing in the future as well. In terms of image quality, I was only using the selfie camera for the waving green video last night, but I've been able to work out how to integrate the rear-facing cameras of much higher quality and a much higher frames per second to be able to improve the image for you and indeed for me. I hope you find it a great improvement. In terms of sound quality, you're hearing me through my smartphone microphone at the moment, and it's reasonable, I think. The tone and the level is pretty good. I do have a decent broadcasting type microphone here that I've connected through the computer, but I can't at the moment integrate it into the editing software to be able to record both the camera and the sound at the same time from the two separate devices. So I'm just relying on just the phone at the moment to use the video and the sound. So far it's pretty good, but I'd really like to try and upscale the equipment I'm using to improve the product. In terms of the content from the Darwin Triple Crown event in 2022, there are a couple of errors I've made and a couple of things that I'll be correcting in my second waving green video that might be of interest to anybody who's looking at that waving green video and wondering why, for instance, we're calling it waving green and people wear orange in the marshaling scene in Australia, but we weren't in Darwin. Or what was going on with the three of us that are out on track, and some of the things that we could have done better, and some of the things that I'll point out in a bit more detail in explaining how we access the track and access to the assistance to riders. So wait for that second episode and I'll go through and do something of a critique of what myself and the two Darwin lads did, and how we wouldn't normally necessarily do it the way we did, and how we would improve it in the future. In terms of acknowledgements and copyright material, this is an educational video, and so I'm relying upon the general coverage of educational material as being exempt from copyright issues. However, I will acknowledge, as always, Motorcycling Australia, the St George Motorcycle Club, and the Australian Superbike Championship Series that'll be the focus of or at least most of the events that I'll be covering in the Waving Green series. Most of the photographs moving forward will be from what I'll be taking of myself or from my own archives, and so there aren't any copyright issues there, but I'm certainly aware of copyright for music, and I'm looking at potentially getting an ARIA license or similar to use some of this good Australian music as background, or for images. And if I take images, then I'll be sure to acknowledge where they come from, either through watermarking on the images or through acknowledgement further in my video. Waving Green and the Sprint series are only two of the types of content that I'm looking to upload to this channel. I've got plenty of material from in the past, such as when Steve Sant and I rode to Darwin for the Triple Crown event. So I can do a bit of a travelogue there of, at least of my part of it, because I went via Finke for the Finke Desert Series race. And other related types of material, such as a trip to America, where I rode from Daytona across to New Orleans and back as part of the Iron Butt Challenge. They'll be titled differently, with the Waving Green series but focusing just on the motorcycle marshalling material, and the Sprint series just being this kind of direct comment to camera, about 3 minutes at the most. I hope you find it all enjoyable. Please subscribe if you can. Send comments through the comments section of any of the videos, or if you know me well enough, directly through Facebook or Facebook Messenger. I've enjoyed it. I hope you do too. And remember, keep the shiny side up.